So I've always preferred my weapons to have as much handling as possible. Always. Handling's been one of those stats that I really prioritize on all of my weapons, like even subconsciously. And I believe, it's because of how it affects the feel of the weapon. I've always had this in the back of my mind, but I was never sure of quite how it worked. But what that is like it has to do more than just handling has to govern more than just your ADS and your ready and stow speed. And because those two things are only part of getting the feel of the weapon, Like while you're ADS'd and you're moving around, there has to be something else going on while you're shooting. And I think I found out what it was. While I was messing around with this, I realized, if you look at the reticle, it kind of moves a little bit while we're moving. You see the reticle moves off center, and you'll see this better in some screenshots I took from some clips I was recording to prove this. And so yeah, I noticed that, and I was like, that's interesting. And I was playing with my handling stat, and I realized that the amount of distance that red dot reticle moves from the center of the screen when you're moving, when it's fully maxed out, is affected by handling. I was like, okay, that's cool, but I wonder if it affects all the times that dot moves off screen. Like on controller, here, this one has dynamic sway. Let me switch to, yeah. If you notice how if you can get past the flare, but on controller, that little reticle will bounce around. Now, mouse and keyboard, not every weapon. It will normally, mouse and keyboard, it stays it stays like almost perfectly still. But on controller, it doesn't. Another thing, on a sniper rifle or with something like Arbalist, that red dot doesn't really move off the center as much. It's like, okay, so if this red dot moves, if the amount the red dot moves is governed by the handling stat like this, then theoretically every weapon, no matter moving, whenever that red dot reticle moves, the amount it moves should be affected by handling also. And so then I realized, I'm like, Flinch, your dot always moves off screen on every weapon, no matter your input device, when you get flinched. So I I got a clanmate together for a few minutes to help me out, and had him shoot me in the head and inside a bunch in a private crucible match. And that combined with measurements I took of the same weapon, moving to the side to get that maximum amount of distance from the center, that's how I came to this conclusion that basically the higher your handling stat is, the less flinch you take and the less deviation the reticle dot on screen has from the center, from the most center part of the screen. Let me fade out here and go into desktop mode with I have screenshots I took from some of these clips and everything, and I will break it down and I'll show you my pixel counting and how much it does change. Okay, so the weapon I used to test this with was once again my Shearer's Wrath. Just because I really like it for handling testing, because when I put on celerity, as you can see, it bumps handling up from 32 to 50. It's nice even 50. So yeah, I use celerity. I tested either with kill clip and no celerity and just the base 32 handling, no mods, no exotic armor, nothing to increase past that 32 base. Then to test that against, I would put on celerity, and I equipped Ophidian Aspects for the plus 32 in handling, and I put on a quick charge mod, which not only affects shotguns fusions, but also the handling of SMGs. So that those three together celerity, affinity aspects, and quick charge maxes this out over 100 handling points. So that way I could see the difference between around 1/3 handling and max handling. So first I tested was moving. So I put up a stasis wall and I walked into it sideways. This was actually done on keyboard and mouse, this part right here, just so I could toggle the aim down sights and I could walk and then, press record and all that, but whatever. So this with 32. If you notice, if I zoom in here, you can see how I zoomed in and I pixel counted from the exact centers. And that gave me this. Using a square plus b square plus c square, that gave me a diagonal amount of 21.26 pixels. So what does it look like when I max the handling out? Well, maxing the handling out, it looks like this. It went from, 14 by 16? It went from 14 by 16 down to 13 by 13. So it went from 21.26 down to 18.38 diagonal. That's about roughly 10-11% decrease just from the handling stat. Now, I was curious, does this work against Flinch also? So I got a hold of one of my clanmates who had just about 5-10 minutes to help me out and told him to put on 120 hand cannon. This was the hand cannon he chose. It was a Sunset year 1 version. So those are the base stats of it. I asked for a 120 hand cannon just because I know intrinsically they cause flinch like high caliber rounds do. So that would just give me, and I know hand cannons will flinch people a lot, and especially 120. So I was like, okay, this should give us a good amount of maximum flinch we can measure. So I had him shoot me straight forward, straight on, several times, and I had him go to the side and shoot me from the side, because when you get hit from the side, it's very dramatic in the amount that the gun moves and how much you're getting flinched. So first, the base. Once again, I pixel countered here, and so that gave me vertical of 40 pixels, horizontal of 58. I got around 70.45 pixels diagonal center to center. Well, at 100 handling, it went from 40 vertical to 40 horizontal. So if you look at that, it decreased the horizontal amount, but not the vertical amount. But it decreased it by 64.03, or all the way down to 64.03. So plug that into a calculator. Let me grab this real quick. 70.45 divided by 64.03 gives us roughly 10% again. So it looks like on, roughly every 30-35 handling points might decrease your amount of flinch, or the amount that reticle can move at the maximum off its center, by about 5%. These numbers are just guesstimating. Yeah. So here's the horizontal, and it was a little harder to count. So I use these circles right here. I set the circles that are exactly 100 pixels across circle, and I went in and I did it that way, so I don't have to sit here and count one by one. But I got 250 till right there, and then from there all the way to the center, that was 10 more. So that gave me 260 pixels horizontal, center of the red dot, center of the green dot. Well, with max handling, that decreased by 8 pixels total from those center points. See how I lined it up and I counted the difference here. So yeah, Flinch does in fact Flinch can be negated somewhat by the handling stat of your weapon. So let's say you've been getting flinched while you're sniping a lot, and you want just a little bit more to help you out. Let's say you don't have no distractions, or you already do, and you already have 2 sniper unflinching mods put on. Well, if you pick a sniper with really high handling stat, that'll help even more. So, yeah, I just thought that was pretty cool and interesting, and I couldn't find any info on anyone else testing this out or coming up with this theory. Um, so yeah, I'd love to ask people to double check this. Please do your own test and get back to me. You can leave me a comment here, or you can message me on Reddit. My username on Reddit is the same as it is here, TripleMoonPanda. Yeah, just leave me a comment or anything, and tell me what results you got if you were testing this, because just to confirm this, I think we need more than just one person out here testing this. But yeah. So I encourage more people to go out there and see if they get the same results I did. So that's pretty much all I wanted to share. I do have another video coming out later this week, and it's just a simple build video for Void 3.0 before it launches next week with Witch Queen. Just a nice, simple, universal build video. And yeah, that'll be coming later. So you guys, please take it easy, have a good one, and please stay safe. Bye.